Hi all, Nerd Mom here. I haven't done a vlog in a while, so I've really missed it. It's nice to be jumping back in. I'm answering 80 mile per hour mom's Monday Mingle questions today. And the first one is, what is something you do with your significant other or your kids just because it makes them happy? For me, that would have to be the zoo. Went once as a kid, loved it. I was in first grade, had a ball, great memories. Went with my dad Raul, my middle father. Um, Loved it. Never went again. Husband and I are probably one of the few couples who never did the zoo trip as a date. But we go moderately often because my kids love it. They enjoy it so much. And through that, I do enjoy going with them. But if they didn't like going to the zoo, I could be done. I mean, I'm allergic to the world. What is the enticement of the zoo for me? Nothing. But I'm very happy to do it with them. The second question is, what is something you or you and your spouse used to do that you don't do anymore and you miss? Well, just me, I miss reading. I know I'm not the only mom out there or the only blogger. I miss sitting down and reading books. I used to read all the time. I love reading history books. I love everything. And I just don't seem to make the time and make it a priority anymore. I was just discussing this today with somebody at church about how much I miss it. I mean, I try to keep up on some magazines I get, and I try to read some things on the internet and keep myself moderately informed. But just the idea of sitting down with a good book, I don't know when that's happened last. And something Nerd Dad and I used to do a lot is we used to play a lot of board games. And, like Empire Builders and Settlers of Catan and Carcassonne. We used to play all those games all the time. Matter of fact, even once the first couple kids were born, we would like set it up on one end of the table and we'd play while we ate because the oldest was still in a high chair and couldn't touch anything yet. And so we'd just play at dinner time for like a week a certain game that would last that long. Loved it. But once again, I mean, to play a really good game is going to take you a couple good hours. And who has just a couple good hours anymore? Play a few minutes on the Wii every once in a while, and that's about it. I miss it. Now that my kids are getting older, I'm looking forward to us being able to make it a priority for all of us to do it together. And that makes it a little easier to block out that time. The last question is, what are some traits you got from both of your parents? Well, I'm expanding this out a little bit because I have four. My mom, I look a lot like my mom. My voice sounds like my mom. I mean, as far as physical traits, I look a lot like my mother. Beyond the physical traits, she was very much one of those I can do anything kind of people. And while she may not do everything, she raised me believing that you can learn to do anything. And so it's kind of the model I build my blogs off of is anyone can learn to do anything they really want to do. And all you have to do is educate yourself. My birth father, I'm going to say, well, for him and my mom, stubbornness. It's probably what I got from him. I mean, I got my blue eyes from both my parents, obviously. Stubbornness. But I wasn't really raised with him, so I don't know how much of what would be considered his personality or his family traits I've really acquired. I mean, we've gotten close in the last few years, but, I see some similarities between him and my mom, so I can say that those commonalities I see in both of them. But other than that, I'm not quite sure. My first stepfather, Raul, he was very much of a gift giver and a let me show you how much I love you, and I think I acquired that from him. He was a hugger and a cuddler, and so I'm definitely that, especially with little ones, because when him and my mom were married, I was very little, and I always remember snuggling with him and hugging, and he's still a hugger, and I love it. My current stepfather, who, I mean, when I say current, I mean well over 20 years, like, oh my goodness, close, about 30 years now. I got history. I love history, and he was a social sciences major, and he'd discuss it at home, and we would talk about history. Sports, I watched a lot of sports with him when I was little, and while I don't follow sports because, I mean, I just don't have the time, I can sit down and analyze and love any kind of sporting event just about, except for maybe baseball. That's a little slow for me. I mean, I understand it, and I get the averages, and I like averages. I like math. But it's not a big spectator sport to me. Sorry, all of you baseball fans out there. And so I got that from him, though. Planes, love planes. Wanted to go into aeronautical engineering there for a while. And he really, that love of the military, I think all of my parents have. my husband, when I was asking him about this before I filmed it, he says, violence. You got violent, love of violence and warfare. And I did. I kind of got that from all of them. I mean, my mother's a criminologist. Two of my dad's cops. And two of them were Vietnam vets, different too. So all of them like military and like history, and my current stepfather Michael and I, we both, planes and jets and battles and all of that stuff. And so that's probably something I got from them. I haven't found the source of my math yet, or my science, and why I'm so dweeby, because none of them are quite as dweeby as I am. But I am who I am. I have to be original, right? So that's my Monday Mingle questions. How about you? What activity do you do simply because to make somebody else happy? And what do you miss doing in your life? And are you like your parents? And is that a good thing? Let me know. Leave me some comments, and I'll see you later. Bye.